7:50, Gordon Sparks with you on BBC Radio. Devon, did you watch Blue Planet 2 with Sir David Attenborough? Did you enjoy an armchair safari? I love all that. New research from the University of Exeter shows that watching nature on TV can be uplifting and reduce boredom, especially when we're stuck inside. And if you add virtual reality, then it's even better for us, boosting positive feelings and increasing our connection to the natural world. Alex Smalley is a PhD student at the University of Exeter Medical School. How did you find all this out, Alex?
Morning. One of the things we were most interested in was this feeling of boredom. When we initially set out to do this study, we were interested in older people in care settings. And of course, in the last 6 months, everyone has had an insight into just what it feels like to be stuck at home and not be able to get outside into the natural environment. So we actually bored people first before we asked them to watch our nature documentary. So we asked them to watch a video which described office supplies and their pricing.
No.
And we asked them to.
What could be worse?
And then we put them in each of our conditions. Like you say, we had nature-based TV documentary, nature documentary, which was based on Blue Planet 2 footage. And then we had very similar experiences in virtual reality.
That is so clever. Do you know, I'm really lucky. I've got virtual reality at home. And it takes you off into another world like never before. But if you're watching it on TV, watching the nature programs, I think, is this right, Alex? I find it that you are concentrating on what you're watching, but so intently that it is taking you away from everything else in your life.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it gives us an escape, a window, a chance to go to other places we wouldn't otherwise be able to go to. The scenes that we used in our study were underwater. So there was a turtle on a reef in blue water with shoals of fish. And many of us don't get a chance to go scuba diving in the Maldives whenever we want to. And so it gives us a little window into some of those places, and that can take us away. It can fascinate us. It can hold our attention. And we know they're factors which are really important for helping people, recover from stress and from tiredness.
For those that do have a virtual reality headset, would you say it's that immersive feeling that you have because you've got 360 vision around you? You look up, you look down and around and behind you. It's as if you're there, and, if a lion jumps out in front of me, I'd jump out of the chair, Alex.
I bet, yeah, and yeah, you're quite right. That's one of the factors we also measured, was how immersed people felt in these environments. And of course, in our virtual reality experience, there was no surprise that people felt more immersed. They felt more presence, and we think that was part of the reason that they felt more positive emotions in that condition.
Yeah, I'm wondering, just thinking a bit more deeply into this, if people were in hospital or long-term care, if they watched one of these nature series, would that be beneficial?
I mean, that's exactly where we're hoping this work will go. We have to test it in our laboratory at the medical school in sort of in controlled conditions first. We've actually got partners at the University of Lund in Sweden who are already doing this, starting to take this kind of intervention into care homes. But yes, hospital settings, exactly the kind of place that we'd like to go to next. And the BBC are also exploring this in different ways. Over the summer, they released, or just at the end of summer, a series called BBC Mindful Escapes, which really slows down your kind of experience of nature and takes out some of that narrative and fast pace that we might be used to, so that you can just enjoy these incredible scenes.
I wonder if your colleagues as well, Alex, are in touch with program makers, and could you persuade program makers to include more virtual reality options?
Yeah, I think that's something that everyone's really keen to do. And of course, virtual reality is becoming more and more accessible. So we're hoping that it's something which people will be using more and more. And one of the other things I think that you hit upon there with the immersion and feeling part of nature is that in those conditions, we found that people felt more connected to nature once they'd experienced it in VR. And that's really important for people's pro-environmental behaviors. So what we see is that people experience these things in VR, they get a little well-being boost, but also then they're perhaps more likely to look after the environment.
Brilliant to hear from you this morning. Really interesting. I've loved this. And thanks for starting your day with us, Alex. And you can go back to watching videos of paper clips and staplers now.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you, Gordon.
You're very welcome. Take care, won't you? Alex Smalley, PhD student at the University of Exeter Medical School. Isn't that fascinating?
Breakfast
with Gordon Sparks. BBC
Radio Devon.